happened last week in Mengo Chief Magistrates Court. I have seen social media is inundated with this incident, but beginning on a wrong premise. They are creating facts of the case which were never before court. I have called the file, I have sent my team to carry out investigation, but let me say it here so that all of you know. The matter before court in that litigation with documents was a contract of sale of land. Documented, people purported to sign as witnesses. I don't know whether they're genuine or not. There's no way the judicial officer would have known whether they're genuine or not until it was challenged. If it was challenged, then the judicial officer would have had to make a decision, one way or the other. The court issued summons before the judicial officer who was grilled had taken over the file. The court, the preceding judicial officer, issued summons to the defendant, the now famous old lady. The court issued summons to her twice. The first time service was taken by counsel for the plaintiff, the chambers of the counsel for the plaintiff, but the court was not satisfied. The court now sent a court clerk who took the summons and took pictures of the lady receiving the summons. And when the judicial officer was satisfied that this lady had been effectively served, then the court proceeded. The court went to inspect the land in dispute. In this case, it didn't have to go. It didn't have to go. But the judicial officer, where is this judicial officer? Where you stand up? The judicial officer exercised due diligence and went to the land and met this lady and said, please come to court and defend yourself. Granting this lady an opportunity which she threw away. A decision was made. Whether the decision, you can sit down, whether the decision was right or wrong, the judicial officer made a decision, as it was his duty to do. There was no appeal, there was no action. And the law took its course. After this, the public relations officer of the judiciary was called, I think, on a Sunday. The Right Honorable Prime Minister would go to Mengo Court to pay off a debt for which the judgment data had been committed to civil prison. It is my water? What is it, eh? For which the judgment data was committed to civil prison. He dutifully informed the Chief Magistrate to prepare the file because the Right Honorable Prime Minister was coming for that. That was, to me, that was commendable. That a leader would take action to come and say, look, I'm paying off. If another time I had the means, I would also pay off for somebody. But now what took place in court that Monday was unfortunate, unacceptable, a total outrage. If the purpose of going to court was what took place, I think the Right Honorable Prime Minister should have known this country has got a Chief Justice. Should have called. She should have known. I believe she reads the Constitution and she understands. There is a principal judge who is in charge of the High Court and the Magistrates Court. There is the Chief Registrar, whom they called and gave a reason beyond which they acted. I would be failing in my duty as head of the judiciary to defend judicial officers if I kept quiet. I would be failing in my duty as a Ugandan to see this type of abuse of the Constitution, and I keep quiet. I would not be forgiven for keeping quiet. But I also want to say this. Because we take special oath never to fear, don't be intimidated by whomsoever who comes to your court or tries to intimidate you to do the things against your oath. Don't be intimidated. Because we take the oath not to favor. Do not favor any person because that person is good to you. If they are not right, put your pen to paper and say, well, you're such a nice person, but you are against the law. Because you took oath never to malice anyone. Do not malice anyone who offends you when it comes to your judicial work. Because you took oath not to bear ill will, the sanctity of the courts of judicature. And for this reason, I'm sending out word to the Right Honorable Prime Minister. We will never take it personal against you. We will take it that you erred. And because I believe in harmony in the three arms of government, and take it that my good sister slept, we will sit down and find a solution to this. But to the judiciary, to the judicial officers of the judiciary, I'm asking you, do not take it personal against the Right Honorable Prime Minister. No. If she's a litigant in your court tomorrow, do justice. Because we took oath never to revenge. We took oath never to bear ill will or to malice anyone. But the rest, we will sort it out administratively. I also want to say here, I thank the learned Attorney General of Uganda who has got in touch with me to find a solution. But I thought we should find a solution where I made my position clear. That the judiciary of Uganda will never be intimidated under my watch. It will not happen. But I also want to commend the Right Honorable Prime Minister for her zeal. Except that this time it was misplaced. You know, we read this thing, we hear about many things. Isimba Dam being closed 2 months after it was commissioned. That's the place where she should be going. The commissioning of Karuma Dam has been postponed. I don't know when. There is no reliable power in Gulu or Arua. That is where the Right Honorable Prime Minister should exercise zeal. To buy medicine from pharmacies. The Right Honorable Prime Minister should be concerned. Is the government of Uganda buying drugs for its people? If it does, is the National Drugs Authority supplying those drugs to various hospitals? If it does, what is happening to those drugs where people have got? That is where the zeal should be. But I want to tell you, at a personal level, the Right Honorable Prime Minister is a very good person. She's a very nice person. At a personal level, she's a very good person. But she erred. She misdirected her efforts. But we will sort it out. I've told you that the Right Honorable, the learned Attorney General is brokering a truce. But go out there, leave this incident behind, do not be intimidated, do not favor anybody against government because a senior government officer has abused your rights, do not bear ill will, do not bear any malice against anyone. That's cardinal. And that's what sets you apart from many, many other people. Look up your constitution. How many people take that oath? People talk about protecting and defending the constitution and they stop there. And keeping information that comes to their possession in the course of their duty secret. That's where they stop. But for you, and when you read the Bible or the Quran, your responsibility is ordained by God. You are doing God's work. You will not be judged by the executive, you will not be judged by parliament. At the end of the day, you'll be judged. They say, I was reading something about St. Peter being at the gate and asking you a few questions. That is where your judgment will come. Otherwise, I thank all of you.